Okay, so hello everybody. Thank you for coming today, for joining us for this webinar. As many of you will know, I've watched them previously, but just as an update for those who it might be the first time watching, we use these regular webinars, sort of monthly webinars, as a chance to share experiences sort of from across the boards to hopefully give you plenty of tips and advice surrounding the area of employment and training. Today's webinar is slightly different from previous ones. The theme is Employability Journeys. So today, the difference is we're focusing on our fantastic Field Ready alumni and current candidates. So they're from all across Ghana, Nigeria, and Mozambique. We'll introduce them to you in a couple of minutes' time. So the focus for us today on Employability Journeys is sort of going through the Field Ready program that all of our panelists have been through, either very recently or a couple of years ago now. The application process, how that helps them in their current work. The selection days, which pretty much all people from feedback find fun and learn lots of things from. So it'd be good to hear from our panelists on the selection days. And then also sort of delving into the APS and HSC modules that they do. So the applied personal skills that they learn through the Field Ready program, and the health and safety modules, which I'm sure we'll all agree are very important for the workplace, especially for all our engineers. And then we will focus on their work placements and how this has eventually helped them in their current employment and throughout life going forward. And yeah, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please pop them in the chat and we'll try and get to them as quickly as possible. So why will this webinar be relevant for you guys watching today? I think it'd be really good and great for you to see your fellow peers sort of journey through employment through the Field Ready program and how they've reached sort of their success and their positions today. It will also help those of you who may be watching who are thinking about applying for a Field Ready program in the future to see what it's all about and the process that you'll go through in applying, and if successful, sort of the great journey you'll go on through the program. And ultimately, it should show and help you realize how a Field Ready program can help further your career and how all the employability skills you learn along the way will greatly improve that. So to start with, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Tom Race. I am the operations manager at Field Ready. I tend to look out and help all the candidates through the application process, from them sending in their personal statements right through to the selection days and putting them onto their training cohorts, among other things. So that's me at Field Ready. I will now move on to our wonderful panelists, who I thank all of them for joining us today, taking their time out of their day to come and join us. So we'll start with Dinoca. Could you introduce yourself, a small sort of biography, where you're working, where you're based, those things like that?
Thank you, Tom. Thank you to join this webinar as well as a panelist. My name is Dinoca Quive, as Tom said. I have a degree in electronic engineer. I was part of Field Ready program cohort 3, and actually I'm working at Depot de Maputo, Mozambique, in case.
Thank you very much, Dinoca. We'll move on to Zutah. Could you please introduce yourself, a short biography?
Yeah, good afternoon from Ghana. Please, can you hear me? Good afternoon from Ghana. My name is Andrew Zutah, and I'm based in Takoradi. I was part of the first cohort, the world's first Field Ready, and I did a BSc in electrical and electronic engineering. I'm currently working as the quality engineer for Baker Hughes Ghana oil field equipment. So that's where I am currently.
Great, thank you, Andrews. And Sylvia, we'll move on to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Daniel Sylvia. So I studied civil engineering, a Field Ready candidate for Nigeria, cohort 2, and I'm currently doing my internship at Lado, Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. And Eugene, can you join us?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm so sorry for the video. I'm still trying to figure it out, but my camera is not coming up. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, no problem.
Okay, my name is Eugene Ozor, a mechanical engineering graduate from Federal University of Technology over in Nigeria. I'm fortunate enough to be the part of Field Ready Candidate Cohort 1. I'm currently an graduate trainee with Waxilla. Waxilla built a power plant at Lafarge Cement Factory, Ewekolo, Ogun State, Nigeria. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Eugene. And last but certainly not least, we'll come to Adelino for a quick biography.
Yes, thank you. I'm very happy actually because of my name. When I was in high school, I was always the first one to do the introductions and everything. Today I'm the last one. It feels good actually. So thank you. My name is it's Adelino Avelino. I'm from Mozambique, like Dinoca here, and like Dinoca as well. I have a degree in electronics engineering. I was part of the first cohort of the Field Ready program here in Mozambique in 2019. Yes, and I'm currently working for Sasol in Mozambique in Temani as a skills transfer coordinator. And yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Adelino. So that should give you all a quick introduction to our panelists today. So I think where we'll start is right at the beginning of the process of sort of the Field Ready program. Dinoca, I'll come to you. So how did you find the application process of joining a Field Ready program and the challenges you may have faced? How difficult did you find it? And maybe any tips for people who want to apply in the future?
All right. For me, to apply to Field Ready program was the process was quite long because they have a lot of stage to be filled in. First, I applied to the Field Ready program at Court 2, but I didn't succeed. But I didn't quit. I applied for Field Ready Court 3 in 2001. I was online because of COVID. And the process was a long while, also was so long, and but I find easy, and I joined Field Ready, and I enjoy all the program.
That's great, thank you. So I didn't actually know that. So you applied for cohort 1.
Cohort 2.
But did you say you were unsuccessful? Sorry, the first time.
Yeah, the first time I wasn't successful, but I didn't quit. I joined at the second again, and then I succeed.
Okay, great. So that sounds like sort of the first time you applied, it was a really good sort of learning process to then learn for the second time, and a good example of not giving up necessarily at the first stage of applying for employment. Thank you, Dinoca. So we'll move on to Andrews Zutah. You were with our first cohort in Ghana, right at the very beginning. How did you find the whole process application?
Okay, so for me, I would say from the part of the world that I come from, that is the free and fair selection process I've ever seen, right? Right from school, it's not like who you know, no. It's your abilities and your capabilities to be able to solve problems. So throughout the selection process, you can just imagine in the university over 700 engineering students applying through the process. We came down to 200, from 200, then down to 100. Then they selected 70, we went for aptitude test, and they selected the best 30. Right after that best 30, we again went ahead for the best 15, went for an interview where we had technical commissioners from the industry already, from Talo, Baker Hughes, GE Oil and Gas, Oceaneering. And they were the technical commissioners that really met us and then selected the best 15. And I was just privileged to be part. And trust me, all the 15 of us are today working and doing very well. So that's so to speak.
That's great. That's really interesting. Thank you. So we'll move to Sylvia. So as the other two have sort of mentioned, the application process has many steps and can be quite challenging in processes, but in parts. Do you feel though, because I know you're coming towards the end of your sort of work placement and have been looking at jobs and applications, do you think the process has helped you now though apply for jobs after the program?
Yes, definitely. Because, okay, the process involved an assessment. So that was like the first assessment I've ever written for a job application. So later on, when I applied, I saw that that was the same process other jobs also needed. So it actually helped me, prepared me that, okay, this is what I should expect if I'm applying for any job in the future. So definitely that part helped me. Then the interview session also, we all will get there, but we all know how the process was and how much it has impacted in us. We know that it was not a normal process. So the character and everything you showed case study, we've been able to apply it in other job employment opportunities that I've been applying to. So I can say yes, it helped a lot. Very, very helpful. And like Andrew said, free and fair. So that's something we should pin. Thank you.
That's great to hear, Sylvia. Thank you. So Adelino, I'll come to you now. Do you have any sort of thoughts on the application process? Did that help you sort of reach the great job you've got at Sasol?
Well, yes, it did help the whole process of applying for being part of the program. It helped me build it's building the professional that I still want to be. I can't say that I'm already the professional I want to be, but I know I'm going there. And for us, it was even more complicated because it was the first cohort in Mozambique, and and I think in Ghana they started earlier, but in Mozambique it was the first one. So we didn't actually had no one to tell us, oh, if you participate, how is the process actually? What do they ask? What comes into the exam? What should I prepare myself? So it was a very, very challenging application process, but it was the whole process. It was really interesting from the essays that we had to write until the technical exam, the final interview. It was really chill, but it was a good experience. I look backward and yes, I learned a lot. If you want to know. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Adelino. So what I'm taking from what everybody said there is that often it might be the most challenging sort of application process you may have gone through, especially sort of post-university. But in the long run, it's so helpful, especially when applying for jobs sort of after you've finished your program, because it will set you up with all the experience and all of the sort of know-how of how to apply for jobs later on in the future. Now I'll come to you, Eugene. Thank you for being able to join us again. Part of that application process is the selection day. I just want to sort of hear your thoughts on what did you learn from the selection day, and would you be able to give any advice to any who may do a selection day in the future through Field Ready?
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. I believe you can hear me, right? Yeah, okay. For me, the selection day, the most important thing I learned that day is about the teamwork, because we understood that it's not about you alone. We are made to work in a team, we are made to build things, we're made to work together, discuss together. So the part of building a tower is the most interesting part, because at the end of the day, we got to understand that achieving the result is not that matters, but how you got to that point. And it's just because the question came in such a way that the highest tower, that's what is needed. At the end of the day, we found that we also need reliability, the tower that can survive the wind, the tower that can be able to withstand and stand very well. So on that day, I got to know how to work with people, because actually we came from different parts of Nigeria. I have a whole lot of people coming from different backgrounds, different beliefs and different views of life. So having to be able to achieve that result that day, and my team, I think we come out around second or third. So I learned a lot that is very paramount to work together, and that is what you majorly see in workplaces. And it have helped me a lot because I've got my work placement. I've learned to work together, to work with people. You achieve more when we work together. No matter how good you are as a person, you cannot be better than everybody put together. So that's the one thing I pick up from there. And whoever want to apply for Field Ready, what now will tell you, you have to know when to work together and when to work alone, because the application process are all different. And that day of the interview, the most important thing that you don't have to be in the background. You have to show yourself. We got time to move around, introduce each other, meet with the company commissioners. So all those things you have to, even if you are shy, not on that day, you have to show yourself. If you are not seen, definitely you are not doing enough. So you have to be on the lookout. You have to be in the limelight. You have to go around. You have to do whatever you need to be doing. If you need someone to speak up, you have to speak up, take responsibility. And during the other process of the interview, the one you have to answer alone, you have to give out your best. Bring your A game to the table, and you surely get through. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Eugene. That was great. What I take from that is that teamwork is so important on the day. I'll come to you now, Dinoca. Could you maybe give an example of when you had to really use your team working skills? Maybe explain one of the challenges you did as well on selection day?
As I say, for me, the selection day was different. We going through the was online, yeah, and I had an interview with different people with different companies as well. But one thing I had to say, you need to know first the company. You need to know. You need to know. If you don't know any question, don't answer, don't lie during the interview, keep smiling, be yourself, and just shine, because everything can, you want to only smile, because the technical thing you learn in the Field Ready program, but you need to be enthusiastic to get in the Field Ready, get this energy, so that the commissioner, the interviewer can see you as a potential candidate through the Field Ready program.
Great, thank you so much for that. So I'll come to you now, Zutah. You will have done the very first selection day that we put together at Field Ready. Could you maybe explain one of the challenges you did and the teamwork that you had to go through and the excitement of the day, basically?
Okay, so that was my first teamwork ever, right? Although in the university you have project team members you work with, but hey, these are they grouped us in 5, right? And they come from various disciplines like mechanical, electrical, civil, and these are new people that, I mean, technical commissioners are giving you an issue to solve. So, for example, I remember one of our things that we need to solve as a team, right? We were offshore, and then there is fire at the cabin. What do we do as a team? So all of us came together, we discussed, then finally, we were fortunate, we even had a lady among us. And then after working as a team, we gave her the chance to also present our findings and our solutions that we came about. And I mean, that's, for me, that is what Field Ready is about. When you go out in the companies, it works the same, because of course, my department needs to get something done before the next department also moves ahead. And at the end of the day, we want to achieve a similar goal, which is get the project done. So similarly, that's I mean, it's a wonderful experience that I want every graduate from the university to just experience it.
Great, thank you very much. That's really interesting. I see you mentioned the technical commissioners there. I'll come over to you, Sylvia. Could you explain how helpful it is, the technical commissioners that come to the selection day, and how they may give you guidance, and maybe explain to our viewers what the technical commissioners are in the Field Ready program? I can help you out if you struggle on that one.
I think, Tom, I didn't get you. I think it was breaking. I didn't get you. Sorry.
Sorry. Could you explain how? Can you hear me now? Great. Could you explain how useful the technical commissioners are on selection day and the guidance and help they give you throughout the day?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So the technical commissioners are those that arrange and direct the interviews day. So actually, I want to say that interview day, that was the first time I'm experiencing any kind of interview. I've been to lots of interviews, and that was the first time where I don't have to sit in front of someone and be asked various questions. But the technical commissioners, they helped us to also feel comfortable. At first, you're all tense, okay, you're here to meet people and express yourself and show how good you are. But they were always like, just be comfortable, just be yourself, just smile, just be calm, just communicate, express yourself, and that's how you get the job. So I also buttressed on one of the activities we did that day, and that was when they told us to explore and reach out to people, talk to the commissioners, talk to your colleagues, talk to anyone. So actually, I'm a quiet person. I don't like coming up and meeting out people, but there was a period where I was talking to only my fellow candidates. Then one of the commissioners was like, I think you should try to reach out to the representatives from the companies. Those are the people that are here to pick you. Those are the people you want to reach out to. Those are the people you want to showcase yourself to. So from that point, I was able to go out and reach out to them, talk to them. And because I didn't even know I spoke to one of the candidates from one of the representatives from the company I'm currently working with. So I think they are actually very helpful. And also you have to be expressive. You have to have self-confidence to be able to pass the session. That's what I think. Thank you.
That's great. That's really interesting. Thank you, Sylvia. I think it's key, the technical commissioners being there to help and guide you through the entire process of the selection day. And it's really good for our candidates to meet the people who they will end up applying for jobs through in the future. And that sort of interview process is so handy. Adelino, I'll come to you now. The sort of selection process as a whole, are there any skills, any sort of major skills that you learned that you would maybe like to pass on to people who are going to apply in the future that you picked up on the selection process? If you could just unmute yourself, Adelino.
Sorry.
No problem. There we go.
Yeah, so skill is difficult to say. When you say selection process,
Yeah. So that could be anything from
the interview itself.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
The interview was quite interesting, but of course, one of the things that the team, my colleagues here have mentioned is that you have to be yourself for the interview, of course.
Yeah.
And there is nothing that you are going to create or to fake during the process itself. You just have to be you and show, you know, the skills that you already have, the skills that you bring with you. You know, sometimes some of us we have different skills. Some of us we can present better than others. Some of us can argument. Some of us can articulate ideas. Some of us it's hard to say that all of us we can do the same thing, you know. So one of the things that I learned in the process on that day is that each person can add value to the team differently. We don't have to do everything, because we had, for instance, I remember we had one exercise where the team had to get together and contribute with the ideas to solve a problem. But some people gave certain ideas, some people had certain ideas. We had someone whose job was to articulate the ideas and write it down, and we had another colleague who was given the responsibility to present what we came up for the people there. So teamwork, it's always very important, and it's not something actually that you are going to learn being there. It's something that before you apply, when you are wherever you are, you have to start cultivating it. You have to start, you know, working towards improving this. You have to active listening is also very important, and these soft skills actually they do count. The way how you communicate, how you present yourself, this These are very, very, very important. For me, for example, just trying to extend it even more, when I went to Field Red, that was actually my third or second interview. But that was when I went, I tried to do something different. I tried to be me. My first interview actually was for a very good company. Yeah, I finished my college. I came back to Mozambique, and then I went for an interview for a very big company here in Mozambique, insurance company, one of the biggest, or even the biggest one, insurance company. And of course, I was not ready. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know about the importance of articulating my answer. I didn't know how to present myself in the interview, and everything went wrong. I left that interview room, and I was sure I'm not getting selected for this one, not even for the second round of interview. I was sure. So of course I was frustrated. So I went home and I tried to read as much as I could about the interviews and what went wrong and what could go different. And I went to, of course, to the Field Ready interview with those things in mind. Like, I have to do everything I didn't do right in the first interview for the Field Red. And basically what I did, I was just myself, and I just, start talking and, trying to show who Adelino is. So basically this is what I would like to share with the candidates that are thinking about applying for Field Red. You don't have to be a perfect one. You have probably the skills that 1, 2, 3, but you have to showcase your skills, and you have a very short time to show to the relevant people that you can add value and that you have potential to take part in the program. So you have to take that opportunity to share with them what you can do and what you can be.
That's great. That's really interesting, Adelino. I see you mentioned. I hear you mentioned the soft skills, which is obviously such an important part of interviewing and employability. Eugene, you've recently sort of finished your training program out in Nigeria. Could you talk maybe about the APS, the Applied Personal Skills module, and how useful that has been for, because you've recently just done an interview, haven't you?
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Actually, the Applied Personal Skill is the main deal. I think everything about Field Ready is focused actually on that, because I got to learn that no matter how good you are in your technical skills, if you don't have a good personal skills, you will definitely not go for it. You'll be highly limited. Someone said that the technical skills like the shark, while the applied personal skill is the water or the ocean. So no matter how big is the shark, if the ocean or the water is polluted, the shark will die. And I've seen it happen to people. Even even in my workplace, I see some guys that are very good in their technical skills, but there are some certain lapses in their personal skills. And personal skills usually cost the company money. So for me, that model, I paid absolute attention, and the Field Ready did amazing job that, because before now, I don't listen that fine. I don't listen that well. I'm usually the type that will usually interrupt. I want to say more. But after that training, after the Field Ready, that model, I got to listen more. And I got to learn that when you listen more, you learn more. And most of the time, everybody has something to contribute. Even if you are the one teaching the other person, at a point, there's something you have to learn from the other person. So the art of communication, which was taught in that personal skill, added a whole lot to my professional career. And I've used it many times. I'm still using it, and I'm still growing in it. I'm still learning more in it. But we are living in a world of humans. Machines, tools, and every other thing are what we use for us to make our life better. If you're good in the use of tools or machine, you still need to relate with human beings, because at the end of the day, your result and everything will still be evaluated by a human being, not a machine. So is a very important skill, and I'm very glad that Field Ready laid so much emphasis on that. Also, the part of critical thinking, it helps me a lot. Have to pay attention to details and have to look at things from more more than what they is obvious. So it is a very, very, very interesting part. Also, the cultural differences, how to live, how to work with other people from other backgrounds. And funny enough, I found myself in a place that we have people from different tribes in Nigeria. So you see someone who's have another background, another mindset, another cultural beliefs, and also their religious beliefs seems to be different from yours. So that model helped us to understand what it means to tolerate. Because even if you have your differences, if you cannot be together, if you cannot work together, it definitely affect the job. Imagine a situation you guys came in the morning and start arguing about churches, about mosques, about. At the end of the day, I found out you both were as joined together to work as a team on a particular thing. The argument, the anger, and everything that I've generated in that morning, you will transmit to that job, and it end up messing up the whole thing. So Field Ready models help me a lot, so that I know when to talk, I know how to talk, I know what not to share. Even if I have a different opinion, I can just keep it to myself. It's a very, very, very great skill, and I value that a lot. Also, the part of active listening, and also growth mindset and HSC mindset, that also contributed a lot. That in every way I am, I also found myself to be health and security and safety conscious, and making sure that at all time I have my PPE, at all time I'm working safe, and avoid anything that will expose me to danger or hazard. Because I got to learn in the training that any hazard you involve yourself, or any accident you involve, it reduces your worth as an employee. It makes you, it doesn't say you enough. So people tend to see that you are sort of a danger. You cannot work alone. They need to take care of you. You need to be micromanaged or supervised. That sort of a thing is not good for your personality. It's not good for your career. So always be safety conscious. And all these are part of the models we learned in the applied personal skills. And I'm very, very grateful that I passed through that. Thank you.
That's great. That's really interesting. Thank you, Eugene. And especially mentioning sort of your HSE health and safety. I think we'll move on to that in a couple of questions time. But I'd like to come to Andrews again, Zutah. In your sort of current employment and current work, the skills you've learned on the APS module, have you used any of them while you in your current employment? Have you brought them to your job, to the company you work for?
I mean, yes. I have a lot, but I just want to talk about just some few ones, right? At the when we're having the training, we were privileged to have super talented people who came to teach us about these soft skills, applied personal skills. Some of the things they spoke about is being patient, being able to control your emotional intelligence, right? So at the workplace, sometimes there are times that things will come up where people will be furious, people will be angry because certain things hasn't been done. Meanwhile, as a leader or as someone who is there to make sure that the work is done, you need to find your way around to see how you solve and then make sure that you bring all the team together to achieve the goal, right? All these things were taught, right, on Field Ready. So whilst we were there, the 15 of us were in the same apartment, right? We're in the same room, we're in the same hall, we use the same hall, we basically live like a family. And there are times that when things pop up, we are humans, we used these soft skills to try to resolve issues even within ourselves. So when we go to the companies and we're seeing these issues come up, it didn't take us by surprise, but rather we saw it as a way to improve. So just one recently, right, on the HSC aspect, right, my company that I work with, I'm just privileged to say that if you see something that is wrong, they've mandated you to speak up and make sure that the right thing is done, right? So when we're doing the Field Ready, anytime things are not right, I remember we had one instructor, Jide, from Nigeria. He was our HSC lead. And whenever you are climbing the stairs and you don't use the handrail, he'll make you return and climb again and go back and forth. And same thing happens here, right? And we have handrails, and if you don't use it, compliance and other stuff will come in. So when we got here, it was so easy for us to spot little things that even people who were working who have been in the industry over 10 years are not even able to see. And just recently, I observed one guy working. He was coming to do maintenance on our AC unit. There was no fire extinguisher, nothing. So I quickly stopped the job and told him, hey, hold on, what if there's fire? And he was doing hot works. So I stopped him. And as a result of that, I was even awarded for that. So, I mean, it's something that is refreshing that always, you know, it becomes part and parcel of you. You always want to do it.
That's really great. Thank you. Interesting that you are also now sort of involved in the HSE side in your current workplace. I was wondering, Dinoca, are you involved at all with sort of health and safety in your current job, and the skills you've learned on the module? How's that helped you throughout your employment?
Okay, so
Yes,
okay, sorry. I thought it was coming to me. Sorry.
No, sorry, Dinoca. Yeah.
yes, Tom. Actually, I'm working at the industry, and you know, Deepworld is a company who manages the container, load and unloading the container in the vessel. We work with a big vessel. The HIC and the safety is the priority here, and we need to ensure that all thing we are doing is safe. And we act as a safe ambassador as well. During the Field Ready program, I learned a lot of things that helped me a lot in the HIC topics about how to be a safety ambassador, how to do job safety analysis, how to do a permit to work when you want to apply, when you want to do a job in a hot space or in a confined space. I also learned a lot about the importance of being a ambassador when you are working. And here at the Deepworld, we have safety as a priority, and that's helping me a lot because I actually did do everything well, and I'm also enjoyed. Thank you.
That's really great to hear, Dinoca, that the skills you've learned on the program have really helped you in your current employment. That's great to hear. Adelino, do you have any sort of thoughts on the HSE module? How useful do you find it, especially now in your current work?
Yes. HAC during my cohort, it was a very serious taking subject for us. It was managed closely by Mr. Sambula here in Mozambique. And at the start of the program, we all thought that this is not exciting. This is just, you know, helping us lose time and not doing it. But the good thing about this module for the Field Ready program is that it becomes actually, you know, culture. It's safety become, you know, your culture is part of you, is embedded in you and the person that you want to be. You see, like the colleagues, like the Andrews Zutah's team. They were in the same accommodation. We were also in the same accommodation. We spent together 10 months, and for us, safety was not only when we were at the workshops and everything. You know, we used to work, you know, safely. We used to discuss topics related to safety when we were at the workshop, when we were, you know, going back to the accommodation, when we were at the accommodation itself. It became culture. You know, we talk about what work, even when we're cooking, there's always like a friend, a colleague would come and say, hey, bro, this is not safe. You have to take this, you have to use that. So it become part of us. And today I am proud to say that for example, for my cohort, we did follow different, you know, paths. Not that or some of them, you know, are working in the fields. Some are not, but they are in certain companies, and I'm pretty sure that they are doing great when it comes to safety. It's nowadays if you want, you can't you can't think about working for the industry. You can't think about working for an oil and gas company if you don't know, if you don't like safety. Really, if you are a good civil engineer and you don't like safety, and you don't understand the importance of HAC, then you are not a good civil engineer as well. So you better choose another job for you. So even if you are an HR person and you don't like HAC nowadays, you can't work for the industry. So I see no difference between between soft skills and HAC, for instance. You know, they both have the same weight, and of course, Field Red was important to us and is important to young graduate, because it actually introduced you to this, to safety, to soft skill, and the importance of it. When we are at the college, I don't know about the other countries. Obviously, I'm not very familiarized with the education system in Ghana, or for example in Nigeria, but in Mozambique and even in the other countries, I did not, you know, my college was not from Mozambique. I went abroad, but hardly we talk about safety, about soft skills, and everything that is done. We just have to start the theoretical part, the communication, and then you write the exam and it's done, you know, and then you are free to go to the search for job and then apply and get the job if you're lucky. But no one actually introduced you the importance of working safely. So this is why Field Red program and all, I wanted really to highlight the importance of both the APS module and the HAC model, because it does make a difference for those that are already working for the industry. Dinoca, you're already there. Zutah as well. You don't go to an interview without them asking you questions related to HAC. So it doesn't matter which position you're going, one of the questions is going to be HAC. And they have to understand how how important you look at this subject. So this is one of the tips that I would like to. The HAC is very important, and it doesn't matter the role that you're applying for. You really have to understand the importance of it, and Field Red helps you with that. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for that, Adelino. That was a great answer. Really, really interesting. So once you've completed your program with Field Ready, or the first couple of training modules, you try and put you onto a work placement. So Sylvia and Eugene out in Nigeria have currently just completed their work placements. Sylvia, I'll come to you first. How beneficial did you find your work placement you were with Ladol, weren't you? And so how beneficial was that work placement? And, you know, what valuable skills did you learn during this work placement at the time that will help you go forward with your future in work?
Okay, thank you, Dom. So first off, I think the communication skills, because you have to work with people, you have to communicate, you have to solve problems. So to be able to do that, you have to be able to communicate clearly. So that's one thing that I actually learned. I was able to not just communicating, but also listening properly, because you have superiors you work with and they give you orders, and if you don't listen properly, you work wrongly. So the first thing was communication. I learned how to communicate very clearly. Then I also learned how to think critically, because they have like various tasks which you have to solve, and you have ways and processes of solving them. So you have to analyze, you have to state the problem, state the objectives and how you want to solve them. So you have to think critically to solve those things. And that's another thing where Field Ready helped. During the program, we learned about ATS, and that's applied technical skills. We learned about root cause analysis. So I was able to apply that root cause analysis at my work placements and able to use it to solve whatever issue that was given to me. So the work placement also helps you know how to, let me say, after the work placements, you're able to go to another industry. That work placement has given you the opportunity to know how it is to work with people and how to work with your superiors. So going to an industry in the future, you know how to act and what you're supposed to do. You know how, let's not forget level of hierarchy. You also note that they have hierarchy, so you don't just jump from one person to another, leaving the person you're supposed to work under. So that gives you an idea, okay, so this is how it is in an industry, and this is what's expected of me. So communication, hierarchy, teamwork, critical thinking, and root cause analysis, solving problems. That's what I gained from the work placement. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. So that was really interesting. That was a really good answer on sort of the hierarchy, learning sort of your position and who you can go to ask for advice. Would you say that was useful on your work placement as well, Eugene? And any other sort of advice you give to others?
Okay, thank you very much. For me, my work placement, Wagzilla Power Plant, is more like a dream come true. I've always wanted to be in a place that I can work with engines, be able to take care of engines, because I believe that an engineer is an engine, what a medical doctor is a human beings. So when I got here, I was so happy. So to be able to be in such an environment, I've not been in power plant before, so it exposed me to how power is generated. I have this passion about energy, and I've been in the oil and gas for now. So I got to see the other part of what it takes in energy. So being in Wagzilla is a more like a very big exposure and a big addition to my professional career, to my CV, because the engine they have here is one of the biggest in the whole world, and it's not what you find around. And for you to be able to operate it and maintain it, definitely you are counted among one of the best. So it's a big opportunity for me, which I didn't take for granted. So it offered me the opportunity also to serve. And when you're serving people, you're able to learn a lot, because you see people who are already here 10 years, 5 years, 6 years above of you. And for you to gain what they have been there for that 6 years, you're able to humble yourself and learn. So at the initial stage, Field Ready made it 6 weeks. And I said to myself, 6 weeks is too short for me to get what I want here. It's already too short, but I have to maximize it. So what did I do? I have to partner with everybody. I communicate with everybody. I talk to even anybody, the cleaner, because I know as long as you are there, you have the knowledge of what is happening there, and I need that knowledge. I need to get it, and that offers me that privilege and to learn more. To learn so much about power plant, about the engines, about the maintenance. I've not been in a maintenance department all my life. Just like a fresh graduate, all I have done is to be in a operations operator and a production operations in the oil and gas. So coming to Wagzilla is more like giving me another view for what it takes to be a fully developed engineer, and also to learn how to work with people, and how to, that root cause analysis that we did is very, very important, because in most cases you can't work in the morning, they're telling you that this engine is happening, this is just happening. So you have to start to troubleshoot. And how do you do that if you don't have the basic knowledge? Here we bring the knowledge we have from the field reading, able to match it up with experience, and that what makes you an expert. When the knowledge you have is equal to the experience, you have become an expert. And that's the important part of the what also makes field ready very special, because we found out in most cases that graduate doesn't have that experience. None of us has even seen what an engine looks like. I only have to read about it, the theory part, you see the drawing. The highest you can do, you can go to YouTube and watch the videos. This is how you operate, but you having to see it physically, having to touch the engine, having to work on it. Whatever you learned that period, it sticks with you, as it is like what it will remain with you forever. Nobody can tell you otherwise. And wherever you have opportunity to defend that, you will do it without any difficulty. So my work placement is actually my best addition so far, seriously. And as it may be the case, I'm still in Wagzilla right now. I say in Wagzilla right now, we are planning to end in this August. That's what I'm planning to end, and I'm still learning. So it's a very big addition for me. And I want to tell anybody, if you're applying to Field Ready, I want you to give it your best shot. This is the best program you can see anywhere. Most times you see people coming to train you, they give you classroom training, tell you what to do, this, what not to do. But until you get to the field, you know what is obtainable. Everything is not obtainable in the field. You see every organization has their own culture, has the way they do things, has the way they work through a task. So you have to learn that. You have to be able to adjust to that situation, able to work with it. And some other things that you see that it's not actually the way it looks in the book. That you are good in the book, you know the theory part, you can cram it. It goes more than that when you come to the real life. And or else you have that real life experience, many employers will not look your way. And that is what they're looking for. The first question they will ask you most of the time is, have you handled a spanner as an engineer? Because if you say you're an engineer, you don't even know what is 17 spanner, you don't know what combination spanner, you don't even know what is a wrench, you haven't touched it before, it'll be difficult for you to be employed. So value every process of Field Ready. It is very, very necessary. Nothing in Field Ready is just for the sake of being there. Everything was planned for, and it is developed to make you the best. When you come out, you're actually Field Ready. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Eugene. That was a great answer. I hope everybody sort of learned how beneficial work placements can be there on the Field Ready program. I'll come to you now. One of the final questions for Andrews, Zutah. I'll also come to Dinoca and Adelino on this one. So how did you find the process of getting employment after the Field Ready program? And do you have any tips for those who may be watching who are applying for work currently?
All right. So one thing that I just want to talk about is again, soft skills, because most companies believe that if you have the right attitude, skills is not a problem. I mean, they can train you. If you don't have good attitude, you cannot never be trained. So if you are a student or a graduate who wants to come on board, please, time. I mean, we come from a part of the world where people don't usually observe their time. I'm the first to come, the last to leave. When I was, I mean, we came in as interns, right? By 7, by 6:30, we start work at 7. By 6:30, I'm already in, and I'll be the last person to leave, making sure that I'm always ready to learn. And then the quick one, the second point I want to also address is how we use social media, right? I meet graduates, I meet them, do you know about LinkedIn? They're like, no, this is the first time I'm hearing it. I ask people, do you know about Facebook? That one, yeah. Do you know about Twitter? Yeah. Do you know about Instagram? They know. But for LinkedIn, they are not aware. They don't even know what it is. Sometimes it even takes time for you to meet them and explain to them. However, on Field Ready, we were taught how to brand ourselves. What are the things that you need to do on LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn is a professional page that you need to put in what you are doing, where you've schooled, what you intend doing in the future. And fantastic, they are there. Most people have these resources on their phones and they don't even know how to use it. So please, if you are a graduate coming on board, attitude, always making sure that you observe time, and then making sure that you make wise use of LinkedIn app, so to speak, as well. And then always be ready to ask questions and then understand. Okay, that's all.
Great, thank you very much for that. Great, Dinoca, do you have, could you explain sort of the process you went through of finding employment after Field Ready and the skills you learned on the Field Ready program? How much did that help?
One thing my instructor used to say is that to find job will give you job, because it's a lot of things you need to do. You need to update your CV according to your job description. You need to get a networking with different people. You need to be every time in the internet searching for job. For me, after the Field Ready program, I think I'm alike, because after the Field Ready program, the same company was sponsored me during the program. DPO was the same company invite me for an interview. During the interview, I tried to put in spot all things I learned during the Field Ready program about the importance of presentation, the body language, the eye contact, and because Field Ready built also my confidence. And for the candidates who want to apply for Field Ready program in the future or to another job, we also have our website in a Field Ready program where you can register there, and then you can try learning while it's not a program like this I have been in as well. You can go to our website as well. Yeah, but this model helped me a lot, and we also had the opportunity to have an interview with our instructor to learn more how to do this kind of interview and how to do a cover letter, how to do a CV, how to, and then one of the things we learn as well is the networking. Network not only with people of outside, with our family as well, because inside in our family, we're the people who work with different companies. We need to talk with them, to know the company with them. This can be very grateful for us. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dinoca. I'll quickly come to you, Adelino. How did you find the search for employment after your Field Ready program, and do you have any tips for those who are applying now? Just to unmute yourself again. Could you unmute yourself, Adelino?
Oh my God, this unmuted button. Okay, so I was saying I'm going to try to answer to your question by giving maybe two very important things that I learned during the program that actually when you invited me to be present this webinar, and I said this might be one of opportunity to share with people that are going through the program and the ones that are going to be part of the next cohorts that might help them actually. You know, the first one being, you have two things here. We have to understand that Field Ready is a whole experience. Okay, we understand, and many of us, when we join the program or when we think about joining the program, we're just there to find job. Okay, it's just the only reason why we want to apply to Field Ready is because we want to find job, and this is a legit reason. Actually, there is nothing wrong with that. But do not let it cloud the opportunity that you have, because it's more than that. You know, you see, Field Ready is an experience for you, or opportunity for you to find out if you really like to do what you think you like to do. Yeah, because there you are exposed to the field, and you have the opportunity sometimes to go to few companies and even work there. So it's an opportunity for you to do that. I'm just highlighting a few things that you can enjoy about the program. It's an opportunity for you to interact with people, with young people like you, but like many of us said here in the panel, from different background, and you learn a lot from that. If you ask me what do I actually learned, I maybe I'll need time to write it down for you, but you learn a lot. I used to share a house with people. For those that know Mozambique, we have 11 provinces, and I was living with people from 4 or 5 different provinces here in Mozambique, and all of them had different customs that I had, different accents, different way of cooking, but we would eat the same food, share the same idea. So it's much more than a bridge for you to find employment. But it is at the end of the journey. Of course, you might get the job that you dream about, but the experience itself, the path, it can help you grow and become a much better person. So this is the first thing that I wanted to share that might help you learn a lot, okay, during the experience itself. The second thing is one of the most important thing that I learned in the APS module with for us here in Mozambique is from a very wise man called Mr. Gaspar, is that after the Field Ready program, you know, when you finish and then you want to go and try to find a job, you have to look at yourself as a product, like as anything. Imagine, yeah, you want to sell yourself So make sure you are something the companies will want to buy, okay? Because young people coming from college and most of the time from Field Ready program, they feel entitled, okay? They think, okay, so I just went to a 4-year, 5-year college program. I'm an engineer, at least I got a degree, so now people have to give me a job. Let us think about how many people actually are in the same situation and how many job opportunities you have in the market. Okay, so you have to find a way to differentiate yourself from the other people. Okay, so because it's like if you want to sell bread, there are many people that can actually produce bread and give you. But of course, when you want to buy bread, you look at the quality of the bread so that you can choose. So let us work on ourselves. Let us learn as much as we can, because this is not a one-way thing. It's not the companies that they have to hire you because you studied and because you went through Field Ready program and that's it. You know, the same way the company will want to give you a job, you have to think, what can you actually give the company? Okay, yeah. So that's what I wanted to share with everyone that is here in the meeting. And at the same time, like Dinoca did, invite everyone to join the program. Is an awesome experience. You get to network, you get to meet people. One of the things that was very important, because of the Field Ready, we got to interact with people from Ghana, from Nigeria, which was actually very good because we exchanged. At some point, we were able to exchange experience. How is the program? I remember the time we were having the program, you know, at the same time. So like they were also having the program in Ghana. So we would ask them, what are you thinking about the program? How are you guys enjoying? And how are you? And all of these. It's an awesome opportunity to interact and to grow your network. So yes, just to highlight the importance of networking. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. That's really important, especially that message on networking. It can be so important for young graduates to network and meet as many people as possible, because that's the best way of getting opportunities. I'll quickly go through some of the questions we've got through from viewers. So Gideon is a fresh graduate in mechanical engineering from Ghana, and he'd like to know when is the next cohort recruitment for Field Ready. What I would say in response to that is just to keep an eye on our social media pages. We've got Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we'll provide you with news on any upcoming programs, and register on our new website, getfieldready.com, for all the latest news on new programs. Thanks, Gideon. And then Kelvin has asked, what was the biggest challenge a panelist has encountered during their work placement, and how did they go about solving the problem? So might come to you there, Sylvia. Did you face any big challenges on your work placement?
To work placement, first of all, the Field Ready program, it's something that's not virtual, so it's physical. So you have to like go from wherever state or wherever you are to a particular place, maybe a new place, and you have to go through the program. So that's like you in a foreign place and go through various processes. So first of all, that was an issue for almost everybody. But I think one thing that helped us was being persistent and knowing, okay, you have your objective and your goals. So this is what I want to achieve from this program. This is what I want. No matter how inconveniencing and hard it is, you just keep pushing. Even at your work placements, okay, let's talk about sometimes you may not get everything you want or everything you expect. Like this person said, Adelino, he said, sometimes you get to a place and you expect them, okay, I studied 5 years engineering, I'm expected to get a job. Most times it doesn't work like that. They don't give you what you expect. So you just have to know, okay, every experience helps, every process you go through helps to gather your experience for the next job that you're going to get. And this helps to elevate you. So just being objective and persistent in whatever you're doing, I think that helps a whole lot. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Sylvia. That was a really good answer to the challenges you face there on work placement. I'm just conscious of the time, and thank you everybody for joining us. So one sort of final quick question. I'm going to ask all of our panelists for sort of one quick sort of 30 seconds, 1 minute closing statement on any tips that they've learned on the Field Ready program that they'd like to pass on to anybody watching today. I'll start with Andrews, Zutah. Any tips? Just a quick closing statement.
All right. Okay. So well, again, the tip is be ready to learn. Don't stop asking questions. Ask. I mean, keep on asking. No question is silly. Just go ahead and ask and ask. And then a quick one on the question that the earlier gentleman asked, right? I just want to touch on that and then end the statement. Right? One of the challenges that we face in our workplaces is that we're 5 that came, and then most of the experienced guys that were around already, because they feel we have the certificate and other stuff. Sometimes they feel relaxed to tell us or teach us what they know, because they feel that the next moment they teach you, you take their jobs. However, we made them understand that we are ready to learn. We are not there to take their jobs. We are not even, that's not even part of our plans, but we are ready to help them and work as a team. And just helping explaining this to them, they gave us all the chances. They went a step ahead. They felt released. They felt relieved. They were okay. And that's the best way that if you go out there in the industry as a young graduate coming, just let people know that you are not ready. You are not there to take their jobs. Rather, you are there to work with them as a team and help the project or whatever you are doing come to a successful end. So that's all I have to say.
Great, thank you. We'll move on to Dinoca now. A quick closing statement.
Yes, one of the things I could say, be open to learn. And another thing is you cannot be a good employer if you are not a good person. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Eugene?
Okay. For me, one thing I would say that you have to give it your best. Once you see the opportunity, any Field Ready program coming up, you have to take it with all seriousness. And one thing you have to be conscious is about the time management. There will always be a deadline attached to the assessment and everything. Don't allow it to elapse before you do your own. Put everything you know, treat it as urgent as possible. Give it your best. Put out your A game out there and be ready to work. It will require you to work hard on yourself, to work hard on assessment, work hard in communication, work hard in relating and tolerating people. You have to be ready to be open-minded, also be open-minded. It can take you in different dimensions to leave your state, to go where you'd never expect to go. Just be open-minded and put in the work, put in the hard work. You will surely succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugene. That's great. Sylvia, any final tips for our viewers?
Okay, the first thing I would say is be objective, like state your objective. What do you want to achieve? What's your goal? What's your target? Why are you doing this? Why are you applying? Why are you going to stay true to the end of the process? So the first thing, have your objective set out. Then the second thing, believe in yourself. Sometimes you see applications, you're like 20,000 already applied, and you feel, what makes me different? Surprisingly, you're the one they're actually looking for. So just believe in yourself. Then be persistent. No matter how hard the situation is, just keep on trying, keep on putting the work, learn, and you'll be successful. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that, Sylvia. And Adelino, any final sort of reflections, closing statement on what we've discussed today?
Yes, I think my colleagues here have already shared a great deal of it. Now it's not good to be the last one, you see. Now I ran out of ideas. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to share is basically just to continue with in the same line with what Sylvia was here sharing, is that we have to be quick at reacting. You know, you see, and I speak, I say it for the young people that are here. You know, most of the time, and we have friends, and we are there in the social networks, and we see people that are doing good, you know, and we often think that we really need to be like them, and there is nothing wrong with that. And when you fall for the first time, you think that you are not worth it. Okay, so all I wanted to say and to advise people is that you have to be quick at reacting. You see, many of us here, like people in the social network, they are going to show, of course, the best part of their progress, of their path, but they also fell at some point. They failed, and you are also subject to fail. So I like for instance when we were starting the session and Dinoca said that she tried the first time and then she didn't get it. And you know, it's easier when we fail the first time. It's easier to say, well, maybe this is not for me, and you to give up. And then I'll go back to what Sylvia was saying, that we have to be committed and focused on our objective. You know, so if you really want the thing, and it's one thing that you have to want, you really have to fight until you get what's your dream. So basically, I wanted to advise the youth here to be quick to react, to fall, and to stand up and keep fighting, and achieve your dreams. One day it is going to be there. And the last thing, not the least, and go out there and tell your friends about Field Ready. It's an awesome opportunity. You all should join. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much for that, Adelino. I think we have plenty to learn and reflect on there from our brilliant panelists who've taken the time out of their day to join us. Lots of things to reflect on, including the importance of soft skills, things like active listening, and then the teamwork skills, and also the importance of the health and safety modules and all the interview tips that the panelists have given us. So once again, as we come to an end, I'd like to thank all of our panelists. They've been absolutely brilliant today. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to come and help others with their employability journey. And thank you for sharing your stories too. That was great. Thank you. And thank you to those that viewed. I think we got close to 30 and 40 viewers live today, so that was great. As you all hopefully know by now, we have a new website on getfieldready.com where if you register, you'll be able to watch all our past and future webinars, and it's full of great resources to help you gain employability skills. And so come and join our community on getfieldready.com. And there'll be another webinar next month, which you'll all be invited to as well. So once again, thank you all to the panelists. That was great. Thank you very much.